Well, it feels great because of what we had to do to get there. You know, beating Eastern at Eastern was tough. They have such a good team this year, and they do deserve a share of the conference championship because they are that good. And to beat them on the road at their place was big, and it was one of our goals this week to do that because we really felt like we let one get away from us when they played us here. They hit a big three-pointer at the buzzer to send it into overtime, and that's kind of stuck with some of the kids. And we played like it. We played like it Thursday. We played really, really well. I was proud of our fight on the road, and we knew going into that road trip that we had to win both, and they only had to win one home game. So it was kind of a tall order because we had to win 2 tough road games, and they had to win 1 home game to be conference champions. So we feel like we earned it. We feel like we battled hard for it all season. It wasn't just this weekend. It was all season long. It was a grind. The league is quite a bit tougher this year than it was last year. So for us to come out on top and have a share of that conference championship feels really, really good. 4 special seniors. I mean, I'd love to say it was something else, but we really have 4 seniors that are remarkable. Talented players. They're tough. They're resilient. They find ways to win when it doesn't really look like there's a way to win. They kind of figure out ways to do it. They keep their composure under fire, and they just seem to play well in adversity. And I wish I could take credit for any of that, but I really can't. It's just special players doing special things. We just guarded them off the dribble much better. We kept them out of the middle of the lane. And one of the things that Eastern does so well is to penetrate to score and penetrate to get fouled. And we sort of kept them out of the lane a lot better and made them shoot perimeter shots. In the first quarter, they were hot. They hit everything they shot. But you know, from 3-point percentage, they usually shoot about 32% for the game. So we were just kind of waiting around for them to cool off a little bit. And in the third quarter, they did, and we were able to score some in transition. And that was the biggest change from the first time we played them to the second time. Well, this conference tournament is going to be great because we have 8 really good teams in it this year. Last year, I felt we had 4 really good teams. This year, we've got 8 that can beat anybody. So we're going to need every bit of that momentum that you just mentioned to go into the conference tournament. I think every game is going to be a barn burner for everybody that's playing in it. So it's going to make for a fun week. It's going to make, I mean, it's called March Madness for a reason, and I think it'll be just like that. It's going to be crazy, but it'll be a lot of good basketball to come watch. Well, I wish there were some tricks, and I wish there were some things that you could do to fool people and have them not play you certain ways. But, you know, everybody knows everybody pretty well right now this time of year. Preparations are short and quick. You don't have a whole lot of time in a tournament to prepare. So we just go over tendencies. We go over what people do most, and they'll do the same. And it's really, for lack of a better term, it's that time of the season where players take over. Kids take over, and they know our expectations. They know what we're trying to do, and they know how to get there. And I think experience from last year should help us. I hope it does. But tournament time is all about players making plays and players making shots. Well, same way. You got to keep Cameron out of the middle of the floor. They are really, really a deadly scoring basketball team. They are really, really good on the offensive end of the floor. Even this weekend, they lost the game 103-90. And normally, if you score 90 points, you don't lose. So they're just a team that can score, and we're certainly going to have to score a lot to beat them. But hopefully, we can kind of control them a little bit. That's the goal, and try to keep them out of the middle of the floor, eliminate layups, eliminate free throws, and make them be just a perimeter team. And they're still pretty good at that, but that's probably the weakest of the 3. Oh my gosh, I've never thought that's crazy. I hope not. I hope we play really, really well. The thing that I've said all along is I wouldn't bet against this team. You know, if we play at home, on the road, at a neutral site, they're just so tough and they're just so resilient. And I love coaching them because you feel like every time you take the floor, no matter where you are, you got a chance to win. You know, I wouldn't have said yes that we are emotionally prepared if we hadn't been playing so well these last 3-4 weeks. We've had some heartbreaking losses, but we played well enough to win in each game. So it's really kind of funny that you asked that question, because I was a little worried about our emotional state, but it seems like they're just fine. And they seem to battle through any sort of adversity or emotion, and they do really, really well. So I feel really good about moving forward, but I'm no dummy. This is going to be a tough tournament, but it should be fun.
I think I'll have to go back and look, but our record's pretty good. when we partake in Chipotle. I think that is not pronounced correctly the way I say it. But anyway, I don't know. We're pretty good. It's probably not the best pregame meal choice, but you know how baseball guys are. We do something once and sort of stay with it if it works. Well, they're down a little bit this year. They gave us a lot of free opportunities. The biggest thing that probably stood out, though, I think we had 6 or 7 extra base hits, and we got down early again, and then Matt Waller had a huge 2-out bases clearing double that gave us the lead, I think, in the 3rd or 4th inning, and that stands out to me because, again, Matt's been great for us all year so far. And just the extra base hits that we're getting, like I say, we feel like we have more power than what we've had. I don't know if it's going to translate to more home runs, but I do think it'll translate to more extra base hits. And then just every guy on our team, pretty much 1 through 9, can run. And so I just think every time you get a guy on base, it does disrupt the pitcher, and he's trying to get it to the plate quicker. He's worried about that stuff, and it gives our guys maybe some better pitches to hit. So that's been exciting. The bad news, again, we didn't get a very good start, and our starters, one, should be a strength and got to pick it up. Well, he's just such a competitor, and then having to sit out last year definitely made him very hungry, and he just likes going out there and competing. And that's the one thing. You have no doubts when you give him the ball, he is going to give you everything he's got. And plus, he's got really good stuff, too. So that helps. But he's definitely compete, and he's going to have to be big for us. That's the one thing. Our bullpen, I don't know how long it's been since we gave up a run from the bullpen. And if so, I don't think it's been many runs even for the year, except for Jake's. He had a bad outing the very first time. Bad inning. He didn't have a bad outing. But, he's great, and not too many D2s have a guy that was All-American as a freshman in Division I. So hopefully he's sort of recapturing a little bit of that magic. No. Again, I was reading a really good quote from Bill Gates, and I'll see if I can get this correct. But it was just like, success is a dangerous thing because you smart people start thinking they got it, and you don't. That's the thing. I can assure you, we do not think we got it. We played Southeastern Oklahoma, who's 1-9. We played a St. Mary's team that's really down. Regis is actually generally not a great program. I think they're going to be pretty good this year, and they're rolling. And then Lubbock Christian's obviously ranked real high, but we haven't been tested yet, and we know that. So we got to fix some things, and if we don't, it can be a long year. So we understand where we're at. It's great. We've won some games. It's win in May when it counts. Well, dadgum, man, they're 55-1. But again, we'll see. They've played absolutely nobody. We've got a lot of teams in our conference that have played a really bad schedule. Theirs may win. I don't know, them or West Texas. But, they played nobody, but that's the thing. They're going to be feeling good. They're hitting 370. They got 8 billion bombs. So they're going to be feeling good coming in. Hopefully, as I'll tell our guys today, let's let them know they're facing a little different level of competition now. So we need to hit them early and then not let them get up. But they'll be good. Eastern's always good. They always scare me. They always have a lot of really good talent. And like I say, playing them early in the year, they're going to be feeling good about themselves. So it'll be a test for us.
It's it's actually a pretty town, but getting there is it's a challenge. It was 85 degrees when we got on the bus last Thursday, and when we got off the bus about 10:30 at night, it was 36, and felt like it stayed that way the whole weekend. A cold environment this weekend. They had a cold spell come through. The wind was brutal, but our players, despite the long travel, despite the cold weather, come out and scored 12 runs in the top of the first. So, you can't complain too much when you go out and win 22-1 in your first game or 22-2, and we're able to get 4 wins. And I give Western a lot of credit. They're a team that hasn't won a game all year. Their head coach had a baby Friday morning, and one of our alumni, Elsa Poe, who's a graduate assistant there, was taking over and running the show. And Saturday and Sunday, man, they came out and played. They came out and played with a lot of passion, and they played hard all weekend and gave us 3 games. They really challenged us and put us in a couple of situations that we weren't comfortable with. But we did respond and did what we needed to do to walk out of there with 4 wins, and that's what we should have done against a team that's struggling like they are. But at the same time, it was different. It's the first time this year that we've had to play in cold weather, and it's tougher to pitch and play defense in those conditions. And we made 5 errors this weekend. We had made 7 errors all year coming into it. We made 5 this weekend, so that's a little bit of a frustration. Pitching is always a little more difficult in the cold weather, especially for Kennedy, who spins it. You need to be able to feel your fingertips to be able to spin it, put it that way, and it was pretty chilly. So to get out of there with 4 wins was good. It's what we should have done. We're 17-1. We feel good about things and got a tough test this weekend with Lubbock Christian. Well, it's really good. And sweeping Kingsville last week may not have seemed like a big deal, but they went out and swept Midwestern this past weekend. So I think that they are proving to be a team that's going to be in the middle of the pack there and prove to be better than what maybe people think. So I felt good about taking care of them last weekend, and to be sitting here 6-0 right now in the Lone Star and at the top of the standings. That's where we want to stay. But we've got a lot of tough competition coming up, and we're going to see a meeting of our schedule coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We've got Lubbock Christian this Thursday. I think they're 16-2 right now. We got St. Mary's next Wednesday, who is 16-2. Go to Eastern, who's playing well, and then go to West Texas A&M, who is 16-2. So we've got some tough competition coming up, but we'll just go out and prepare this week and try to have a good day on Thursday. Give them some time off this weekend. It's our bye weekend, so we're going to give them a couple days off and then get ready next week. Courtney Barnhill had a great weekend. 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. To have a freshman come in, setting in the 4-hole, and to go out and they weren't cheap home runs. They were shots. She just really launched a couple balls, and then Brooke Mangold down the 9-hole had a huge day. Yesterday was 3 for 3 with 3-run scores. Stole, I think, 4 or 5 bases on the weekend. So when you're getting production up and down the lineup, that's good. But the difference, one of the bigger differences in our team is the power that these freshmen are providing. And with Courtney with 5 now and Karina Rocha with 5, that's 2 freshmen that have hit 10 home runs for you, and that looks good for the future. And we're excited about their careers. It's both. They struggled to throw strikes. They didn't throw their number 1 in game 1. They were trying to save their number 1, just trying to do a pitching matchup thing, which really didn't work out because we were throwing Brandy in game 2 anyway. So it was kind of 1 versus 1. But anyway, they struggled to throw strikes, and then we just hit balls hard the whole game. And and you're doing that in 5 innings. It's not like baseball where you got to play it out because you don't have a run rule. That's 22 runs in 5 innings. So that's impressive, and it was fun because the fun part of it is you get to clear out the bench and let everybody get playing time and get 2 or 3 at bats instead of maybe just a pinch hit here and there. Our starters played an inning and a half, 2 innings, and then we took everybody that we had on the bench and they got to play the final 3, and that's always good for them, and it's good as a coach, to get them out there and get them playing time because they're working as hard as anybody in practice, and to be able to go out and get playing time at the college level is a big thing because we may need them. Well, on yesterday, Bailey Wallace tweaked her back Saturday, so Amanda Ramage, a local product here, got to start at second base and had a good day, and that's what we need. We need to be able to rely on those people that aren't regular starters to be prepared when their time's called. Well, I mean, we know we have all the elements to be one of those types of teams. But we also know that it's this region, and you got West Texas A&M you're going to have to deal with. You got St. Mary's you're going to have to deal with. Lubbock Christian you're going to have to deal with. Commerce. I mean, it's just so deep. There's so many teams playing fast pitch softball now. We have 11 schools in the Lone Star Conference. You have 6 in baseball. So it's man, it's just there's so many teams that you have to look at and go, well, yeah, we feel good, but we know that it's going to be a dogfight when it gets playoff time.